Relationships can be a real pain in the neck. Get ready for relationship advice with a bite, here on Vampire Princess Problems.
You're listening to the Vampire Princess Podcast. Welcome back to all our VPPs. If you don't know, by subscribing to my channel, you automatically become a very pretty person. So if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to become a VPP. I'm Vanessa.
And I'm Seth.
So today I am drinking a peach wine slushie.
Very nice. I'm drinking a dark fruit cider.
Oh, cool. And so today's podcast is intimacy, an art, a science, or just good chemistry. So first, I think I want to start with, what do you think are like some creative ways to like keep the spark alive, especially when you're with someone for like a longer period of time?
Right. Yes. That's It is always the conundrum, isn't it? Because if you find yourself too much in a routine, it can kill the spark, and so there's ways to go about that. I think quite often just sometimes making that little conscious effort to do nice things that are not necessarily expected. And I don't mean, sort of, oh, by the way, today we're going to go to a foreign country. I just mean the little teeny tiny things like, they had a cake sale at work, and I brought back a slice of this one that you might like. Just little teeny tiny details like that can just bring a smile to your partner's face, even no matter how long you've been together. Or there's sometimes, if you want to keep a spark going, just sort of booking a little bit of time in advance to go and do the stuff that you used to do. Go back to what brought you together in the first place and do that. Whether that be watching an old show that you both like, or going to the cinema. Say, for example, you've got together over and bonded over a love of film. You go to the cinema, things like that. Just simple stuff. I think doesn't take grand gestures all the time.
I do definitely agree with going to the movies together, because I feel like it's just like a consistent thing, but you guys could go and like see different movies, obviously, but you could even like change up the theater sometimes, or just like before you go, like go to a different restaurant before the movie and just like keep going with that idea. But I will say also, like, honestly, I do think a big one, like for me especially, is travel. And it doesn't even have to be like out of the country, like you said. Like, you could either take like a small like weekend trips, or like just honestly do like a staycation, or just stay in a different place in your city, just like in a different house, and like just treat the place you live like you're tourists there. But also what I think is really fun, like for a couple, especially if you're like getting intimate and everything, is to get like a tiny house, like a tiny home, because you can find them like to rent out just for the night, because it's like you guys are going to be in a small space, and like you're going to cook dinner in a small space together. Like, you have a small space to sit together and watch the TV, or like go outside or whatever. So I think that like pushes you to like interact more.
Yeah, for sure. There was a YouTuber I watched. Sometimes I watch the travelogues and stuff that this guy does. On one of them, he was describing how his wife and he would go to do these travelogues and be in different towns at different times, throughout the year. And there's something about being in the on the bed of an old Volkswagen camper van, basically watching TV on a small like tablet, which you've sort of downloaded, say for example a season of your favorite TV show, or just whatever the current TV show is, whilst the rain's going on in the background, or the sounds of nature and howling winds and whatnot, and they're just sort of inside this rickety old camper van, just watching telly together, curled up.
Oh yeah, I honestly think camping in general like could be a good one, even if you don't have like a van. I mean, just like go out there with a tent or something and just like traditionally like camp. Like that could be pretty fun.
Mm, yeah, I mean, not for me personally, but I understand why couples do it.
Yeah.
But certainly I don't
What
like
puts you
camping.
off about it the most? The sleeping situation or just like the being outside?
I think the sleeping situation. I am an incredibly light sleeper. Um, you know, a strong breeze in a tent is going to keep me awake.
Oh
Uh,
really? We're
uh,
so opposite. I'm a heavy sleeper. I'm just like asleep through the night.
oh right, okay. Well, I'll tell you
Except
what,
for
that's an
lately, because of
advantage.
my puppy, he has me up at like all hours of the night. Like he'll have to go out at 2, and then I'll have to go out at 4, and then he wakes up at like 6. So lately, yeah, I've been having to get up, but no, normally I'm just like, nope, I'm out until my alarm goes off in the morning.
I think that's the difference because the thing about puppies is they have a habit of making sure you know that you have got to get up.
Yeah,
Whereas if it was for most other things, it'd be fine. You just sort of you'd be like, oh, don't care about that sound. I'm not waking up for anything.
yeah. Like
Um,
if my phone was ringing, I definitely wouldn't wake up. But I guess it's just like some sort of like maternal instinct where I'm just like, oh, my puppy's crying. Like I gotta get up. Like jump out of bed.
that's it. You know, the cats and the dogs and the small children allegedly are important enough to you that you can, you know, overcome even the heaviest of sleep.
Yeah,
But like I
he
say,
says allegedly, but I don't have any kids.
I don't either. Well, not that, as far as I'm aware, anyway. Um,
You think there's a chance there could be one out there of yours?
Probably not.
Probably
No,
not.
no. Well, I hope not. Anyway, that's going to be a hefty bill, isn't it?
Well, do you
Crikey.
have? I don't think you have to pay for the time you miss. You just have to pay the time going forward. I think.
Okay. Well, hopefully they're 18. I won't have to worry about it. Um,
But yeah, I do think like how you were saying, like being with someone and you get into that like routine, and it's a needed routine, right? Because it's the necessary like things in life, like working, getting enough rest, like cooking together. But like I don't know, because a lot of it ultimately, like at the end of the day, is like can be seen as like unsexy. Like it's not that sexy, like unless you make it that way. Because like how
hmm.
do you stay intimate after being like, oh, like can you take out the trash? Like can you take out the garbage and then like where do you go from there? You know, like how do you make it still like the spark?
But I mean, you know, obviously once you got your chores done, you're sort of relaxing on the sofa.
Yeah, but you just don't definitely see those things in like movies. Just like that's not ever seen in like a romance movie or anything like that.
No, but you know, it's that's just life stuff. That's the stuff that you got to do day to day. Um, but in between all of those things, you've still got plenty of opportunities to, you know, bring a bit of romance into the situation. Um, you know, it doesn't necessarily all have to be um, looking like it's a movie theater or anything like that. You know, like what I mean, like okay, I'm just trying to think of the best way to describe it. Really, I always do this. I sort of struggle to find the right word, which I had 40 seconds ago. Um,
It's okay.
like like if it's off a TV show, like a sitcom or something, obviously it will just skip to the important parts of the plot. Um, but there's always a setup for it, you know. So you can often see things as the setup. A great example, I think, is the fact that couples often bond over humor. You know, if somebody's genuinely funny, they can often make those background things funny if they do stuff in a comedic or even stupid way. You know.
Oh, definitely that's me because the thing is, for me, like I make up like little songs, like basically like little jingles, like throughout the day. And like whatever I'm doing or like whatever's going on, like if a family member like calls me with like news or whatever, then like I hang up the phone, I'm still thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, like I'll just make up a little song about like everyday life. That could be really annoying to some people, but it's just like I don't know, something I do and it's just like it makes it more fun.
That's it. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
'Cause that is genuinely an amusement that couples, I think, do enjoy. You know, having those sort of moments, so you can just have a bit of a laugh about it.
Yeah, I think
And
if you're a funny person, like it's just gonna be more fun to hang out with you. Like just like going to the grocery store or something that's normally like a lot of like I sometimes get anxiety at the grocery store like if I'm going by myself, but then when I'm going with someone, I'm like I'm having a good time. Like honestly, it's like very fun.
that's it. You know, because when you're at the, you know, going to the grocery store or wherever, there are plenty of opportunities to be immature as a couple. You know, um, obviously, potentially, like you can't do trolley surfing anymore. They tend to frown upon that. You can certainly try.
Trolley
Yeah.
surfing, I don't know what that is. Is it when you stand on the
Yeah, when you
buggy
stand
on
on
the
the
shopping
trolley
cart?
and the other one pushes you,
Oh, okay, okay.
and
Yeah,
you
I did
kind of
not know it
pretend
had
that
a
you're
name.
surfing. Yeah. Um, oh, there was. I'm trying to remember what it was now. There was a car park for a supermarket not far from me, and it kind of it was the middle part was lower than the like either end of it. So there was a particular point where you could actually get two shopping trolleys to bump into each other. Um, so what people started doing when they were hammered from the nearby pub, they would go there. Like, well, when I say people, I mean specifically some of the people that went to college with because they were really mature.
Oh, so this is like a personal
Yeah,
first hand witness
yeah.
story.
So I can't say any names as a result, but let's just say that a couple of them figured out that you could do jousting um, with the shopping trolleys, um, which stopped the instant somebody got an injury that was really bad. Like I think that was it. I think they either broke their wrist or like their forearm or something like that. But they basically they broke a bone quite badly. And then everybody was like, "Yeah, I'm not brave enough to do that anymore."
Yeah, this is
um,
definitely giving like teenage boy typical stories. Like
yeah,
you guys are always
no,
doing something like dangerous, and then you're like, oh, like I guess I shouldn't have done that.
yeah. We when I was younger, we would certainly do things that should not have been attempted at home. Um, but it was fun, and if you can add a very diluted version of that into the relationship, uh, you know, where there's slightly less potential for people breaking arms or wrists or you know other extremities, then that would be awesome.
Yeah, that is
Just
true.
just not full on trolley jousting because that's stupid.
So for saying intimacy like it's an art, I think there is like a connection there because like even art like requires like empathy and emotion and like the same ones that you're putting into like a relationship. Like if you're gonna like you're a painter and like you're painting like a mountain or something, like you're painting it because like that's what you like and like your heart's in it, like it's coming from a place of passion.
Yeah, like you know, it's just sometimes romance requires as much of channeling your inner Bob Ross as anything. You know, you've got to, you know, yeah, paint that happy little mountain.
I mean,
Um,
even just being like creative, like you have to be like creative, like when you're creating art, no matter what it is, like no matter what art you do, like even if you're like a streamer or something, like it like requires a little bit of creativity.
Absolutely, and you know, I think intimacy and romance is an art in and of itself. Though, at least in my view, anyway. Although I'm sure there are people who don't experience such things that are still able to connect with people. I think they have a slightly different visceral approach to it, and definitely probably a much higher sort of intellectual approach to intimacy. Because obviously, if somebody is asexual, for example, not going to sort of say exactly how they would experience it because it's not for me to know. But it's, I think, based on that sort of things, you know, if there is an art to it simply because of the fact that you've got to feel something. there's a strong connection there. There's strong emotion and a certain degree of, visceral connection.
I mean, even like we were saying earlier, like being creative, like, sometimes, you're going to the grocery store and you have to make it a little creative just to bring that spark. So maybe it's not, jousting on the shopping carts, but it could be something fun that you do, like while you're there. Just like even you get to the parking lot and you're just like racing to the car, just like it's just something to be creative to just put a little bit of like fun back into it.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, race you to the cars, or just sort of, um, you know, we'll go grab this, I'll grab that, and we'll see who gets here first, or who can find the most expensive thing in the supermarket.
Oh my gosh, yeah, there's actually like a trend on TikTok right now. And so it's like people go to the store, like a couple, and like let's say they have a list, like one of you guys picks like a snack, one of you guys picks a pillow, one of you guys picks drinks, like you go through the list of just like stuff like a blanket, a movie, and then you get all the items separately out into the store, and then you meet back up like in a certain aisle or like wherever, like we'll go to the back of the store. And then so they each hold up like, okay, what'd you get for snacks? And then one of them holds up like popcorn and one of them holds up like pretzels. And then they decide, yeah, let's go with the pretzels. Like, I didn't even think about that. Like, yeah, I'd rather have the pretzels. And then so they decide like which one they're going to get, like who wins or whatever.
Oh, fab. That sounds really good. And it's also given me an idea as well for something you could do with that. You pick a meal, and you've each got to buy an ingredient that's going to go into that meal. And it can be anything. You could say like, I don't know, we're going to do pizza. Okay, cool. But let's do it right from the basics. So get some pizza bases. One of you is going to buy the sauce. One of you is going to buy the cheese. And obviously you collaborate on it, but it's
Oh,
kind of a
yeah.
bit of a blind buy because you don't know what you're going to get. So somebody might be like, "Oh, right, well, for the cheese, I'm going to get a mixture of mozzarella and cheddar," and the other person's like, "For the base, instead of doing tomato, I'm going to do barbecue sauce." And you're sort of buying different things for this pizza that you can't necessarily predict. So if somebody decides on a topping that doesn't go with something that the other person picks, then it's going to be like, okay, right, that's going to be very interesting. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Um,
Honestly, you might like it when you try it.
yeah, yeah, stuff that's a bit different, or you know, what else? What I said, like or each of you focuses a bit on a course, kind of like on a potluck.
Yeah.
Where you'd sort of you bring a single dish to the table and see what happens. Stuff like that could be really quite fun.
Yeah.
Um, and actually, on the subject of things like that, the potluck, because I remember you describing some of the stuff that you've done with your family. Bringing certain things. If memory serves, wasn't it a mac and cheese that you did for the last one?
Oh, yeah. I always make the mac and cheese.
Mm, I've got to try that one day. One of these days, I'm going to be like, right, you're making me mac and cheese. I'm on a plane. um, but yeah, just things like that. You can sort of have people round, have a potluck and stuff like that, and just having the input temporarily from other people, and then when everybody's gone, you've got a moment to yourself, and then it's just the two of you, and it makes it a bit more special.
True. Like one of you guys bring an appetizer, one of you guys bring the entree, one of you guys bring dessert, and one of you guys bring drinks. So you're each bringing like two things.
Yeah, it works really nicely especially like as a double date, for example. You could have it where each person brings one thing, just like you've described, because then both couples get that moment of when they each separate off back into their constituent couples again. Each couple will then have that moment of we're alone now. We can get on.
Have
We
you
can...
have you been on a lot of double dates, Seth? Because I mean, Nothing's really
I
particularly coming to my mind for me. I've been in a lot of group settings, but I don't think I've ever done like a double date.
I haven't done an official double date,
Oh
but
yeah, I
I
did. I
have.
did one time. It was like in high school. And we the four of us just went to mini golf or something. But these people were my friends, like in our friend group. So I don't know. It wasn't like super double datey because they just went on like a date or two just to try it or something, like see how they felt about each other. But they didn't end up working out.
Okay. Oh, that's what happens sometimes. I think it's. I mean, as I say, I haven't officially been on a double date myself, but I have definitely thought about it a lot as a way of pretty much doing that same thing. You know, keeping that sort of uh, intimacy going, and keeping things fresh.
It's like the
Uh,
perfect two-in-one because it's like your social life and your dating life. But I mean, for me, if we had just went on a double date, like I wouldn't want that to be like my date like for the month or something. Like I definitely would want something
oh no,
else.
no, it's definitely an addition
Yeah,
to
it's an
the.
addition. It's just like, okay, like we've been in our routine so much, even just like going on our date or whatever. So we're gonna throw in a double date just to like kind of socialize with this other couple.
Hmm. That's it. And sometimes that can make all the difference in the world because suddenly you've got additional people there, sort of operating almost in the background of your own intimate life. So when they disappear off, it can be, I don't know. I think it just sort of would feel like it would ignite a little something,
Yeah.
and you know um, like I don't know, get the juices flowing. We're alone now. We can clear off the kitchen
Yeah.
table.
You can kind of be like, oh my gosh, can you believe he took that new job? Like, just like a little bit of gossip after whatever
Bit of
you've
gossip.
learned.
Yeah.
It's always important. Okay, but when we get into like the science behind a relationship, because there is like a lot of like science, because you have like your attachment styles, your different personalities. Like some people's brains literally are just wired completely different from each other. Like we were actually just like saying like before we got onto the podcast, like Seth, he doesn't want like wouldn't be like beneficial and if it was like a situation where the other person is talking like while the TV is on, like he would prefer them to like pause the TV and then say it so
Yep.
he's not like focusing on two things at once. And then like for me, like I'm definitely like talking over the TV like all the time. Like I talk when I watch TV. It's just like something I have to do because like I feel like that's part of the experience with it. Like if I was gonna watch it in complete like silence, like I would just watch it like by myself. But like when I'm
Mhm.
watching with someone, like I'm watching to like talk to them and like see what they're thinking, but also yeah, just like talking about like stuff in the show sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, the one of the main reasons in my case is because I would have to disconnect from one source of attention and then refocus on a different source of attention, which doesn't happen quite quickly enough for me to suddenly enter a conversation about whatever the other person might be talking about whilst the show's still going on because I'm still focused on that. So it will take me a couple of seconds, and whilst I'm doing all of this, I'm not really able to hear either thing. So I'll lose my place in the show, and I'll probably miss half of what the other person's saying. Neither of which is particularly conducive to it. I prefer to pause it, have a bit of a chat about whatever we need to talk about, and then go back to it. Um, I mean, the odd reaction and things like that isn't too bad, but it's like if there's a lot of conversation, or for example, when somebody's trying to get me to explain something that's happened, and it's going to require a bit of thinking and a little bit of conversation, I would have to hit the pause button because I'm going to be like, right then, let's get out the whiteboard. I'm about to go through a whole experience, and I can't say that would be the most beneficial.
Yeah, and so like for me, like if that was something like a negative in a relationship, like it's something I could
Mhm.
definitely like get past, like work on, like okay, like I'll just be more quiet when we watch TV. But with that
Mm.
being said, like it's just like that sort of trickle effect, right? Where it's like, okay, well, if I'm not like getting on like my yapping and like gossip out, like, you know, I just need that like connection. Like, I'll probably need more time to like hang out with my girlfriends, like hang out with my friends, like where we can watch the movie and just like talk and laugh and like that sort of thing. So it's like, but then maybe like I would want to do that like too often. Like it can all lead to like other things in the relationship. So even if it is like a small thing, like it's not like a hard like boundary or like a definite like no in the relationship, like it's not a deal breaker,
Yeah.
then like it still can like cause other issues in the relationship. And then for some people, honestly, like something like that, they just might know it is like a deal breaker, like it's just something like one of their pet peeves, you know.
Yeah, and that's where balance comes in, the art of balance and compromise and things like that, which are all, you know, part of the science, I think, that makes up a relationship. Where you could say balance out the situation by I don't know, saying, okay, if this is a brand new thing that we've never seen before, then, you know, let's hit pause when we need to talk about stuff if it's going to take a little while to talk about. But if it's something that we've seen before, it doesn't matter. We can just talk over the top of it. That's fine.
Yeah. And like,
And then,
oh,
sorry.
sorry. Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, even with like still in like the psychology realm of it, like the science behind it is like different people also just have different like love languages. Like, have you ever taken the love language quiz? Do you know what you are?
I haven't myself. I should probably get on that
Oh my
actually, because
gosh,
that
you really
sounds like it
should.
could be quite fun.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't know if I remember them all off the top of my head. Like I might forget one, but it's like for me, mine is like receiving gifts, and that's not just like, oh, like buying me presents. It's just like, hey, like I folded you this little like origami bird or something. Like I don't know, just like little like gestures and like tokens like that.
Mm.
But yeah, for other people, it's like the words of affirmation, just like the reassurance and everything, like you're doing a good job and everything, or just like, hey, like you look nice today. Just like some simple like words, you know, like reassurance.
Mm. Mine's probably going to be censored.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's physical touch. That's one. Just like you're
yeah.
always wanting to hold hands and things of that
Mm.
nature. And then
Yeah.
I can't remember what the other two are. I'll have to look at it while we're talking. But yeah, I mean, there's some people that's just like, you know, the thing is knowing what your partner is and knowing what you are, because like mine is getting gifts, but maybe like I show my love also by getting gifts, or maybe I don't. Maybe like for giving it, for me it's visual touch. Like I don't know, like you can not match up on what you like to give and what you like to receive. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, actually, what you just said, I think, kind of makes sense to me, because I think giving gifts is kind of, well, at least partially, one of the ways that I like to show affection. But I am incredibly tactile as well, and I like to feel that comfort would just be a really nice thing that would almost feels like it's energizing me. Um, Whereas, you know, what I would do for that person would be, um, and I suppose it doesn't necessarily always have to be like physical gifts.
Oh,
Sometimes the
really
act of
quick,
sort of learning
sorry.
things. But yeah.
I looked up the other ones. So the other ones are, if there's five in total. The other two are acts of service. So like doing something for that person, like making them dinner or whatever. And the other one is quality time. So just spending time with that person. So you have acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch, and then receiving gifts.
Okay. I mean, acts of service kind of sounds a bit more on the submissive end of things, the way that that's described, but that's mostly because that's where I know the term from, which isn't, you know, as somebody that is incredibly difficult. I'm not sort of submissive in any way, really, in that sense. So, acts of service, I suppose, would that be? Um, I think I spoke to you about this off stream a little while ago, where for an ex partner, I was always trying to figure out a thing that I could do for her, like learn a new recipe that I could introduce.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
you
That's
know,
why
like,
I was thinking, like, when you were saying, like, oh, I don't think I'm that at all. But I remember, like, you would be like, oh, I'm going to get, like, their DVD, which I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like that plays on like gift giving, but also like acts of service because you're just like the thing for acts of service is it makes you joy to do something for them. That's my giving as well as acts of service because it can be like I'm just gonna like do some laundry really quick. Like that's the act of service. Just like, hey, like it makes me happy to do, you know, something that takes like 30 minutes just to have it done for you when you get home or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that sounds fair then. So yeah, things like being the one who does the cooking, researches new recipes to make sure. Because my ex partner is a vegetarian, so I was always trying to come up with alternative recipes that would be suitable, and so trying to sort of relearn to cook something that I like, so that it would be possible for her to eat things like that. I suppose if that kind of thing counts, then yeah, definitely there's that. I mean, I'm definitely a blend of all, if not most of the above. So
I'm
you
gonna
know,
say something really, really controversial right now, but a
uh-huh.
really another good example of acts of service would be like taking your partner's shoes off for them when they come home or just like at the end of the night.
Yes,
It's
yes,
just little
indeed.
it's just little stuff like that. Like if you get home from like a night out or like a date or something and like that person still has their heels on, like you could just take them off for them. And that's where I think like you were saying like I don't know, it feels like submissive in a way, but I mean it is, but I mean there's still like quote unquote like acts of submission that has nothing to do with a man being manly or not.
Hmm. I mean, certainly, I am not somebody that's a believer in all of that um, stuff where people go on about nowadays about you've got to be manly and the man's got to be this, that, and the other, and we're sort of heading into that
Yeah, I feel
well,
like the manliest thing he can
what's it,
do
red
is
pill bullshit.
yeah, like the manliest thing he can do, like, is take care of his woman, like make sure his woman's happy. Like, I feel like that's just the manliest thing you can do, pretty much. Like, you're
Yeah,
like, yeah, my wife is at home, happy and content. Like, that's the biggest brag, I guess.
yeah, for sure. I'm absolutely a believer in that side of things. If I'm with somebody, I want them to be incredibly happy, and I want to be putting in. Basically, I want to be part of that. I want to, obviously, it's not all about the recognition, but I wouldn't mind being recognised for having contributed to somebody else's joy. But yeah, just the act of making somebody happy, bringing them a joyous day, a joyous life, making things better for just that one person that means a little more to you than the rest of the world.
Yeah. Oh, and I do know, like, I've been speaking in, like, gender terms and stuff, but, like, honestly, like, the same. Like, even if I was in a relationship with a woman, like, I would still do the laundry. Like, it's still the acts of service. Like, it's not necessarily, like, a gender thing. It's just, that's what I would do for my partner, like, regardless.
Mm, for sure.
And then, so, for, like, chemistry, the third thing, like, of the relationship being chemistry, what do you think about that? I mean, do you go with, like, the initial spark, like that like thing that you can't really explain, like the pull to each other? Like, do you think a relationship that was just like love at first sight is just like the most ideal relationship, like the initial spark?
I I'm a little mixed on this because for my personal experience, the most insatiable and uncontrollable love I've ever felt has been something that arose from a slow burn situation where the initial chemistry was purely platonic, and wasn't really anything that developed until many years later. Um, and in fact, it was one where I had absolutely no idea really the true extent of my feelings until I don't know. I just when I realised one day, oh my god, I'm feeling something here which is far beyond anything that I've ever felt before, and I don't know what to do about it. And so for me, there wasn't really so much that chemistry at first, but it certainly developed. Um, so I think maybe because that was a slow burn thing and it built up, the chemistry wasn't immediate, but it definitely developed, and it developed stronger than anything I've ever felt before.
Okay, I have a really good example of that. And so I work in the service industry, so I see like different people, like different customers and everything every day. I work at a cafe. So if you have like a similar job and you have like regulars, someone please tell me if this has ever like happened to you, because I don't know if I'm just like going crazy. But so let's say I have like this customer, right? This guy. And he comes in like 2 3 times a week and he always gets the same thing, right? And I just like I know him as a like pretty regular, like maybe he'll come 5 days a week, or maybe he'll come 2, or maybe he'll come 3. So I see him on a regular basis, right? And so just like I talk to him like all the time, just like as a customer, like we see each other often, just like, like what are you up to this weekend, like he'll be like, I'm going on the boat or whatever. Like it's just like pure like small talk relationship, right? And like
Yeah.
I just see him every day and I don't think anything about it. And then like one day after like a year and a half, like he came in and just like my entire face like flushed, like beet red, and I was just like, oh my god, I do not think I can take his order, because I'm just like suddenly became like super attracted to him for some reason after I've been seeing him like every day for a year. And like it really just meant nothing to me. Like it was nothing to write home about. Like I never thought about those interactions again. Like he just came in one day and I was just like, oh my god, like I could like hear my heartbeat and everything. I was just like, what the hell is happening? Like I don't understand.
Wow. That
So
is
yeah, I mean my
nuts, isn't
feelings
it?
just like randomly like had developed. It's just like I don't know why that happened, but I mean it was real.
That's really cool though.
So yeah, I don't think like it is like the initial spark. Although I think those relationships are just like somehow interesting for us. Like if it is like love at first sight, like it seems more romantic. Or have you ever seen the TV show called Love is Blind?
I haven't, but I have heard about it.
Okay, so yeah, you understand the premise, right, of the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, do you believe like obviously it wasn't love at first sight because they were in love with their personality first, but like what do you think about that? Do you think if you love someone 100% for their personality, that whatever they looks like beyond that door, like you would just be okay and comfortable to get married to that person?
Mm.
Like could you go
I
on the show, you think?
I don't think it would be for me, but then I'm probably I think there is a certain amount of physical requirement for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, for one thing, I'm probably too big of a perv not to have that physical attraction with somebody if I was going to be that close to them forever. Um, and that's what the goal is for me, at least. Is forever. I'm not dating for, okay, well, let's do this for a few weeks.
What would you
Um,
say to that girl? Like if she was just like amazing personality, you love talking to her, like you're obviously like wanting to propose to her, and then you see her like in person, like would you be like, because right after they see each other in person, right? They go on like a pretend like honeymoon period. So they all go to like a resort in Mexico or something. So they have their own separate
hmm,
rooms, but they're still like with the castmates and everything. Like, would you be like, okay, like let's go and give this a try and see if the physical attraction like can develop? Because at that point, like they obviously haven't been intimate together or anything. So like, would you go and try to give it a try, or like if you just saw them and you knew it was just like not for you, would you just have to tell her like, hey, like I'm sorry, like this isn't gonna work out?
hmm. I think I'd give it a try, because you never know what change is going to occur. I mean, the way I see it is also there are probably foods that you like as an adult that you didn't like as a child. I mean, a lot of people have that. Their tastes develop based on new information, and maybe seeing this person after a time, it will develop. Um, I mean, there are two occasions in my life that I can say without question I've been in love, and the first time that happened was love at first sight. I have no doubts about that
Oh,
whatsoever.
really? I didn't know that. So the first time like you guys ever laid eyes on each other, you were just like felt that connection?
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
we'd been speaking for a very short time prior to this, just
Oh,
online,
okay,
but
okay.
we'd not like shared pictures or anything like that. But it
Oh, really? It was like kind of like, I don't want to say
just
like
words on a
before,
screen.
but yeah, you guys were
Yeah,
just in a chat room or something.
yeah. It was like we just sort of started speaking online, and just, but then I went and met, and I was just like, wow, this is something. Like I forgot how to speak.
Did you know,
Made an
like,
ass of myself, honestly. Um,
was she
I,
your type that you had, like, this preconceived, like, notions of what your type was, and she just matched up with it? Or did you see her and you were like, this is what, like, I've been waiting for?
I didn't quite realize what my type really was until then. Um,
Wow, that's crazy. So she kind of, like, shaped your type.
yeah, like on paper, maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. I wasn't really. It's just when I actually saw her, like sparks flew, like directly into my brain. Um, and it just almost it felt like I was being rewired almost, like just suddenly this person, this poet was like, um in physical form, just the absolute object, like, um okay, I don't know whether I should be sort of going into too much detail about this, but it for the longest time afterwards, even when things kind of basically went their separate ways. Like, she sort of disappeared off for a while, and was, let me know that there wasn't going to be anything as a continuation. Um, Basically, even after that, I couldn't think of any other person.
Oh, so
Well,
she was just like the only thing you were attracted to even after you guys had split
yeah,
up.
for the longest time,
You
I kind
know,
of almost had to force myself to look elsewhere, and my heart wasn't in it.
yeah, I don't think I've ever felt like, that like love at first sight thing, because like I'd never sometimes even set out the intentions that like I like this guy. I'll just be like if I'm single and there's like a guy over there, I'm just like, hey, like I really want grilled cheese. Like I'll just say something completely random to them because like I don't know, I'm just talking to them as their friend because I'm like a yapper and I just say like weird stuff all the time. But at the same time, like that gives them the opportunity to say like, oh, like either they can be like, oh, okay, like my name is like this, like nice to meet you. They can just be like kind of weirded out by it, or they can be like, let's go get one, or they can be like, I like them too, like I like them with this cheese and that cheese, or they can be like, I'm lactose intolerant. Like there's a lot of things they can say. Like it leaves it more open ended, so like I can get a feel of their personality, but maybe in the beginning, like I don't like them until I get to know them better.
Mm. No, for sure. um, and having that sort of intellectual connection, which ignites all of the other connections, that can be quite the important thing. Really, can make all the difference in the world for some people. I mean, the whole sort of thing about like, what do they call it? Like demisexual, I think it is, or sapiosexual, it might be, where basically you're attracted to intelligence. That can be a form of it, I suppose. That sort of spoken connection where you're really sort of attracted to the way that the person is. That can be anything ranging from intelligence to just their mannerisms, to how much they care about things, their compassion. Because that's a wonderful thing to be attracted to.
Yeah, that's why I definitely think for me, I could go on the show because I think if I liked their personality like 100%, that I would just like be honestly like probably okay with whatever they look like. The other thing is like like everyone on the show that goes on the show is usually always like at least like average to above average like looking. Like some of them are like, I know everyone has like personal opinions and stuff, but like some of the guys they've been putting on there is rough is all I'll say. But yeah, I mean the whole concept is basically like they kind of put you guys in maybe like similar criteria based on like society. So like you already know that going in because they're trying to make good TV, right? Like the producers,
Yeah.
like they're trying to be like this is gonna be exciting to watch. So I think that also, you know, at that point, like, you know, no matter who I get, like I'm getting someone like at least decent looking
I mean,
probably. So I would just be like, yeah, I think I could cope whatever like what they look like, even if it wasn't my preferences. The
yeah.
thing is, I think I'd go on a situational basis on that because if it just like was like off, like I don't think I could force myself to do it just because I like hanging out with him. Like I like his personality. I'd be like, you know what? Like we're gonna be like really good friends because we obviously have a personality match. But like at the end of the day, like the spark's not there.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll be good buddies from here on out, but it'll remain there. And there are people that's happened with me where I've had to say, like, let's just leave things as they are now, and just get on really well, and talk to them, because you don't necessarily have to talk to somebody with intention behind it. And one of the worst things you can do is basically only talk to people respectfully if there's an attraction there. That for me is one of the horrible things that people can do. It's better to be good to somebody just for the sake of being good.
Exactly. And it's like if you wrote them off right away, like maybe they're not who I'm attracted to, but you know, they're still okay. Well, maybe that we go on the honeymoon and they're like, just treat me like I'm an angel or something. Like they're just so nice to me all the time. Like they're funny, they're good to be around. And like, and then let's just say, okay, like maybe I just think he's okay, right? Like just 5 out of 10, like a normal guy. Like, yeah, I'd still be with him because if he's nice to me, like he treats me well, like he's a good person, like I think I could be like, okay, you know, like
Mhm.
we're just together now, I guess.
Yeah, and, so there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, but yeah, if there's nothing physically there, but all the
Yeah.
personality matches, then you've probably got a really good friend.
Yeah, that's what
So
I definitely think too. I think to a certain extent, as long as they treated me super well, I could be okay.
and obviously the hope is that everybody's mature enough to be okay with that.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing too, like, you know, like a lot of guys that I guess I've met recently, but just in general, I think can tend to have like low self esteem. But I'm just like, no, like as long as honestly, like as long as you are treating the girl like very well in the relationship, like other girls are gonna want to be with you. Like even if you think you're ugly, like but you're really kind and you treat people well, like don't even say you don't have a chance because honestly, you probably do.
Fair point. Yeah. Never really sort of thought of that side of things. Yeah, just like,
I'm just saying because some of the guys out here are crazy. Like they will cheat on you, like whatever in a minute. Like if you're a decent person, like you know, your person's definitely out
I'd like to
there. I believe it. I just got that's one thing about me is I just believe in whatever I think is good. I just kind of like manifest it because I want it to come true.
wonderful stuff.
But yeah, thanks everyone for listening and to our podcast. And if you want to help us out, you can like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed for listening to me ramble. And I mean, Vanessa's obviously been a wonderful host yet again. So hopefully, you've taken my input on board as well, and it's been really fun.
Thank you guys.